Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Healing Conversations with Coach Vee. I am Coach Vee Mitchell-Palmer, certified life coach and personal growth expert with SVM Initiatives, LLC. As you know, this show is dedicated to stories of pain, triumph, victory, faith, and success. And today I have a special guest, author Emma Huffman, to share with us her story and the steps that she took to heal. And to share with us her latest books as well as an upcoming book. So thank you for watching and stay tuned. Miss Author Emma Huffman, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Oh, fine, and thanks for having me.
Yay, thank you. So I see we have a couple of wonderful books here today, but I have a personal adage that in order for people to understand where you are, they have to know where you came from.
Right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your two books that you currently have, as well as what you have in the making. And then, just kind of give some encouragement, of course, to the viewers, and hopefully they can pick up your book and get all the juicy details that we left out today.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. So first, if I may, I see that we have Ghetto Dreams. This is the first book,
That's
correct?
the first book.
I want to make sure y'all look at this cover. Make sure y'all see author Emma Huffman. So tell me, what's Ghetto Dreams about?
Okay, this was my first book, my first attempt at writing, and I just wanted to write about my life story. I grew up in downtown Cincinnati in Lincoln Courts, Laura Homes. I was raised by an aunt. I was not raised with my biological mother or father. So this book is just me telling my story about my life and the obstacles that I had to overcome.
Okay. So those of us who are natives of Cincinnati, we know about Lincoln Courts, Laura Homes.
Right.
Shout out to OTR. No, so we know about that. So just give us an idea before we get into the meat of the book. What were some of the challenges you had growing up in an environment like that?
Well, like I said, I was raised by an aunt. I have 7 brothers and sisters, and back in the day when I grew up, you were on public assistance, and I was kind of privileged because I was living with an aunt, and I was her only responsibility.
Okay.
So I had whatever I wanted.
Okay.
But she ruled with an iron fist. So today it would be called child abuse, but back then, it was just discipline.
Times have changed.
Times have changed. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
basically that's what the book is about, and how my aunt wanted me to be this perfect child. And of course, there are no perfect children.
True.
And I grew up and I got married. Then I had a difficult marriage and ended in divorce. And I talk about that in the book. And just basically my whole life.
So basically, I'm hearing just straight day-to-day struggles, like real life.
Yes.
No fairy tales there.
Yes.
And even though it may be, quote unquote, as we say back in the day, a lot of those same situations occur today. So
Correct.
I'm correct in assuming that people today can read and still get tidbits and see benefits.
Yes, it's a bit of domestic violence in there as well,
Yeah, okay.
because I think we all, went through that growing up.
Yes.
And me and my ex-husband, we fought, and I got out of that situation.
Yes.
I raised 2 children on my own, and basically just how I overcame everything, the situation that I was in.
Okay. So tell me about that picture on there. What part of the story is that?
That's probably when I was in my 30s. And being sassy and just being me.
But the smile is bright.
Right.
So that was after.
That was after everything,
Yes, I
and
see
me
that.
coming into my own.
I see that. I see that. So if there's a takeaway from Ghetto Dreams, in relation to inspiring someone who's watching today to pick up the book and actually read it cover to cover, what's one takeaway you can give us about, hey, this is why you need to go get this book?
Right. I think the takeaway for me is that there is a silver lining at the end.
Yes.
And everything turned out for the best, Even though you go through struggles and heartaches, you can overcome it.
Yes. That's one of my personal models. We all have stories of struggle and triumph, whether it was how we were raised, whether it was choices that we made as adults on our own. However, if we stay focused and stay the course, then we can come out and have sassy pictures like you got on the cover with a genuine smile and just looking like, hey, I'm finally at a point where I'm enjoying life.
I'm happy, yes.
So now I would like to get to this book, because in honor of Domestic Violence Month and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, this book hits home, correct?
That's correct.
Let's get some information about Surviving 2016. Can't wait to hear about this one.
Surviving 2016 is my day-to-day account of when I first found out I had breast cancer. And what I had to go through to get through that time. And I went on a spiritual journey, and I'm in a group called the Subconscious Committee, and we have an altar and we pray every day. We ask for healing and just overall help, and that's basically what I did. I survived the cancer, I survived the radiation treatment, I survived my doctor nicking a blood vessel and I almost bled to death. My daughter had to literally just drive me to University Hospital. I was bleeding in the car, I was bleeding down the corridor going to the emergency room. And they always say the cure is worse than the disease, you know. And I really didn't feel like I had cancer until, you know, I went through all this, and then I had all the scars and everything. And that's the only way that I can really say I had cancer, because to me, it wasn't real.
Right.
It wasn't real.
Right. Okay. So let's dig a little deeper. So looking over, there's 12 months in 2016. How many months did you experience from the diagnosis to the treatments to the not receiving but taking the alternative method to heal? What time? Was it all year? Or?
I found out in March that I had cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, I found out I had breast cancer in March. My son actually was on a spiritual retreat in Gatlinburg, and I just texted him to pray for me because I know he was on his spiritual journey. I hadn't started mine yet. And when he got back, he knew something was wrong. I didn't tell my family, just my daughter knew because she was with me when I got the news. And once he got back, he brought me all the little fixings I needed to start my altar, to start praying. And before then, I didn't go to church, I didn't pray. Now, every day at 6 o'clock, I have to start by praying to my ancestors. If I don't, I will feel funny because I didn't give knowledge to my ancestors and thanking them for healing me and allowing me to see another day.
So sidebar, curiosity is killing the cat. Are we talking about the Chris Enlightened?
Chris Enlightened, that's my son, yes, my number one.
Okay. So you didn't tell Chris about specifically what was going on with you, but you said he just knew something was wrong.
Right.
He knew mama wasn't right.
Right.
So then he gave you some different tips and techniques to deal with it.
Right.
Outside of the doctor's office.
Definitely.
So around what time frame did you start this alternative treatment?
Oh, it was right away. As soon as he got back, was that next weekend when he came back in town. He brought me crystals and he brought me different stuff and told me how to set up my altar. And when I first set it up, my altar, it was just like one little coffee table.
Okay.
And as you can see on this picture, this is actually my living room.
Really?
This is actually my altar now.
Wow.
And it's huge. And
I
actually, I have more stuff on here than is on this book now because you always add more.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. So when you started this process of healing, it sounds like you were going beyond the physical.
Definitely.
So can you tell me more about that?
Yes, I wasn't worried at all when I was going through my treatments. I just knew I was going to be okay. I did not have that fear, and I'm actually on another group on Facebook about women going through cancer, and they have these horrific stories that they tell, and I'm like, mine was nothing like that. I was free. I didn't worry. I didn't have any problems because I knew by my subconscious mind and looking through my third eye, I just knew that I was going to be okay.
Yes. I always tell my clients, regardless of what they come and receive coaching for, is that what you think about and what you think about, you bring about.
That's correct.
And I don't think a lot of people really accept the power of positive thinking. I don't think people really accept that. I think we buy, as a world community, we buy so much into what someone with a piece of paper says, whether it's a doctor or a therapist or a counselor. And we get so engulfed in that, and then we wonder why things aren't going the way that we want them to go. Because we're allowing ourselves to be bombarded.
You have to heal yourself, basically.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I'm a firm believer that it starts within, healing from the inside out. It's almost as if you are willing the cells in your body to do what you tell them to do.
That's correct. I didn't have any problems, except for my doctor almost killing me and I almost bled to death, but I knew I was going to be okay. I didn't worry about that because I was like, I'm going to be okay.
Yes. So when you took that approach to it, what were your experiences, whether it was from the medical team, whether it was from family outside of your son who introduced you to this, what type of challenges were presented to you during that time?
You know what? I really didn't have any challenges. I took radiation twice a day for 1 week.
Okay.
That's all I had. You hear a lot of people 6 months doing chemo and the hair fall out. I didn't have any of that.
I said you got inches.
Yes, I didn't have any of that. Well, I was wearing, my daughter was putting weave in my hair at that time. And then a few months ago, when I finally took the weave out, I noticed my hair had grew. I was like, I'm going to start wearing my own hair. So, yeah, I didn't have that problem.
Okay. So once you used your initial altar work and that power of subconscious mind, just tell us a little bit about what type of physical changes you started to see.
The physical changes is I don't worry about anything anymore. I probably was a person like most people have that fear of dying. I don't have that anymore because I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I know I pray to my ancestors and I know that they're taking care of me and they're going to be waiting for me when I do cross over to the other side.
Do you think that when people in general experience such traumatic life situations such as cancer or anything traumatic, do you think that since we're talking about subconscious mind and the power of positive thinking, that if a person has that fear, it inhibits their healing?
I really do. I really do believe that. You have to believe that you're going to be okay. You know?
Yeah.
And if you think you're going to die, you probably will. I thought I was going to live. I have too much to live for. I have 3 grandchildren. My daughter works all the time, and I'm the primary caregiver.
Right.
What would she do if I wasn't here?
So you're needed.
I'm needed. I have to be here.
Yes.
Right.
And I love that because I think that the more people that can understand through outlets like this or through reading your book or that I personally service in coaching or even just regular coffee conversation, the more people that receive that, I believe that's where all the healing begins.
Correct.
You can go to as many doctors as you want, you can exercise, you can write, you can journal, you can sing. However, if that mind isn't together, all of that is for naught. You're just prolonging the inevitable.
Right.
Because there's too much conflict going on. So I really, really appreciate the fact that you're touching on the aspect of the subconscious mind and the power of positive thinking. And essentially, like I said, telling your body, not today. This is what we're going to do. We're going to
have too much to live for.
Absolutely.
And actually, my grandson was only 1 month old when I found out I had
new
cancer.
Grandbaby.
I said, I have to be here for my grandbaby.
Yes. My spine's chilling. My spine's tingling right now. So when someone picks up your book, and let's say they have not been exposed to or taught about the subconscious mind or about positive thinking, and all they know is what the doctor told them, or all they know is they may also be a part of a Facebook group or a physical group where there's crazy stories going on and maybe the energy of the tone of the group is not so positive. Can they understand the message that you're presenting in your book?
Definitely. The Subconscious Mind Committee is always positive. You know, I'm kind of like a baby in this because I've only been doing this since March.
Okay.
My son, Chris Enlighten, he's been in it for years, and for years he kept telling me about this,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, whatever. You know. Until I had cancer and I was reaching for whoever could help me. That's when I really looked into it, and it really helped me. And he would tell you, my mama healed herself.
Yes.
He would tell you that.
Yes.
And I kind of believe that too.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in an old adage that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will come.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how much information people share with us. If we're not ready to receive it, we ain't trying to hear it.
That's correct.
Until something like that
Something
happens.
like that happens.
Then
to
it's like,
open
okay,
your eyes.
exactly. Yes, yes. It's like a reawakening.
Right.
Like a reawakening.
Definitely.
So if I picked up the book and I have no exposure, no training, what about your book will possibly get me interested into healing myself?
Okay, I actually have, there's a miracle prayer that you say every morning. I have that listed in there, and you can recite the miracle prayer that helps you and heals you and protects you. I say that every day.
Yes.
Before I walk out my door, I say the Anabacoa.
Yes.
That's the miracle prayer. I say that every day. Even when I'm riding in my car, I've almost had a couple of car collisions, but I say my Anabacoa, and it seems like the cars just go past me.
Yes.
I had that happen a couple of times.
Yes, okay. So you have that miracle prayer in there so that someone who's totally green to this type of thinking or this type of healing can do what when they read that prayer? Are you breaking it down? Are they understanding?
It's not really hard. I mean, because it reads the way it sounds.
Okay.
Anabacoa, Anabekoach,
Okay.
Anabacoa.
Okay.
So you can understand it.
Okay.
And I also talk about how to set up an altar, what you need:
Okay.
fire, water, earth, and air. You need those 4 things, those 4 elements to have on your altar. I have a fountain, which is water, and fire is lighting incense.
Okay.
And earth could be your flowers and your dirt. I have plenty of plants. And you also burn ancestor money.
Okay.
So
tell
those
me
are
about
the things that you
ancestor
do.
money.
Ancestor money is because when your ancestors were here, they may have had debts that they didn't pay.
Okay.
So when they cross over, they still need money on the other side to pay their debts off.
Okay.
So that's how you do. You pay burn the ancestor money for your ancestors, and that way they can help you on this side as well.
And that's what my question was going to be. So having this practice, how did that help you heal? How did that incorporate it?
Oh my God, it helped me immensely. I have no poverty consciousness. It's like I don't worry about where my next dollar is coming from.
Okay.
I have a bank account. I pay my bills. I don't even check because I know the money's going to be there.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
that's having no poverty consciousness.
So it sounds like, just from talking to you, your healing was way beyond just overcoming cancer.
Oh yeah.
It seems like
yeah.
you've done healing on several
It's
different
a
levels
life
during this
lesson
time.
that I will take to my grave
Mm-hmm.
and beyond.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So when you heal on that level, when you heal that deeply, if I may use that word, when you heal that deeply, what type of benefits do you see as far as yourself, as far as giving that back to others who may need healing? How does that work?
I believe that anybody who reads this book can have hope that they can overcome anything, basically.
So not just the cancer.
Not just the cancer.
Anything.
Anything.
Okay.
You can pray about anything, not just cancer. Cancer just happened to be the thing that got me into this.
Right. Right. That was your gateway.
That was my gateway.
Yes. Yes. So today, or what's your status?
I'm cancer free.
Cancer free. Congratulations. So is it a year?
It's been a year. In March, I went in for my mammogram, and let me tell you a funny story about that.
Sure.
The year before, I procrastinated, whatever. I didn't go and get my mammogram.
Okay.
And then the following year, 15, my doctor just set up an appointment for me and said I had to go.
Okay.
And I went, and that's when they found the cancer.
Wow.
Because I probably wouldn't have gone then either.
Okay.
Even though my mom at the same age had cancer.
Really?
She had breast cancer, and she got the mastectomy where she got the breast cut off and everything. But I chose not to go that way. And then 5 years later, she had lung cancer, and she survived all that, and she lived until her 80s.
Okay, so you have longevity in your family.
Yes, in my family.
Because you have work to do.
Work to do.
You got grandbabies to watch, raise,
books to write.
Books to write.
People to help.
People to help.
Yes.
Because there's a great need for healing.
Right.
And I love the fact that you touched on beyond the physical, because we're first taught to look at physical healing, whether it's a disease, whether it's an ailment, whether it's an injury. That's pretty much what we focus on is physical healing.
Correct.
Then we also wonder why we keep re-injuring ourselves, because there's work on the inside that needs to be done.
Right.
And I sit with a lot of clients that they want to just focus on the effect. And my job is to make sure we get underneath, look at that foundation, look at that result. Because there's sometimes, for instance, in Ghetto Dreams, where families grow up in challenging situations, and they don't know that that's the root issue. That's the root problem for all these other things that's happened in their life. So when we dig deep, again, healing from the inside out, then everything else kind of just falls into place. Whereas you say you have no worries.
Right, no worries,
You have
no worries.
So talking about the books you got to write, what's up next for Author Emma Huffman?
Okay, my next book is called I Love My Rainbow Angels and the Subconscious Mind.
Okay.
And this book is really close to my heart because rainbow babies mean that you have had a stillbirth pregnancy and the baby did not survive.
I didn't know that. Okay.
My daughter, when her first 2 pregnancies were stillbirth babies.
Okay. Wow.
So, I mean, that was devastating.
Right.
And to go through that once, and then you try again and go through it again.
Right.
And the third time, we stuck to our guns and we told the doctors, no, we're not doing it this way. We're going to do it this way because we've been through it that way and that didn't work. So you have to be vocal, and the doctors work for you. Let the doctors know what you want. They don't tell me what they want to do for me.
Okay.
And my daughter was like, Mom, don't go to my doctor's appointment. I said, look, you don't tell me what to do. I'm going. I felt like I was having a baby.
Okay.
Because, I was going to be there.
So you took all control.
I took control. I was there for, she has 3 kids now. And the last month of her pregnancy, she had to spend the whole entire month in the hospital because evidently she had some kind of rare disease that she got when she was pregnant.
Okay.
And she couldn't carry her babies past 7 months.
Okay.
But the doctors kept trying to make her go the whole 9-month term, and she couldn't do it. So thank God we got 3 beautiful grandchildren now. And they were all 2-pound babies, premature. Okay. But you couldn't tell that by the way they looked now.
They made up for it.
They made up for it. So there's hope.
So when you say, is it the term rainbow baby?
Rainbow baby.
Okay, and then what's the second part about subconscious?
Subconscious mind.
Subconscious
mind.
The
subconscious mind comes about because even though my first 2 grandbabies didn't make it, subconsciously I know that they're still here. Okay. I have tattoos on my back. I have a dove on one side, angel wings on the other side for both of my grandchildren. So I think about them all the time.
Okay. So you're tying in the rainbow babies with the subconscious mind. So it sounds like you're doing some teaching in that book as well.
Yes.
So that anybody who doesn't have that background or that instruction can still follow along in your book.
Correct.
And possibly be introduced to some new, not really new, but new to them, ideas and concepts for healing as well.
Correct. And a lot of stuff is going on now because I watched, I think it was Jimmy Fallon, and Taraji P. Henson was on there talking about the subconscious mind.
Yes.
And she had the bowl where you go around and mix the music and everything.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this stuff is really getting out there. So people better get on the bandwagon so they can heal themselves.
So you doing your part to
doing
make
my
sure
part.
they get on the bandwagon.
And a lot of people don't believe it, and people in your family like, she don't believe in Jesus. No, I believe in Jesus. I got a rosary tattoo. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God, this, God, that. I believe in everybody that's going to help me.
Right. So you don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate. And you can believe what you want to believe, but I'm telling you what I believe.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I can just feel all the positive healing energy from you. And had you not shared with me what your books were about or just a little bit about your past, I would not be able to look at you and tell that. Because you're just so full of life. And I like to meet people like that because it even still today empowers me that healing is possible. Because sometimes I run into people, whether they're clients or not, that's just, they ain't gonna get better.
Right.
Nothing ain't gonna happen. Okay, but if I can help you recondition your thought process, then we can initiate effective healing from that.
Yeah.
So I just love the fact that it appears that there's a reoccurring theme in your 2 books here, as well as your new book. And when is that coming out?
Should be out Friday.
Friday, so in a few days.
Yeah.
So Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So well, congratulations on your 3rd book.
Thank you.
But I love the fact that there's a reoccurring theme of healing and subconscious ability and that can surpass anything that someone may tell you that's negative.
I can't help it.
Yes.
I can't help it.
Yeah, but we'll continue on. Press forward.
Thank you.
And I have all the confidence in the world that can't no one stop you.
Right,
So
right.
I appreciate you being here and sharing that. And where can we look for your book at that's coming out on Friday?
All 3 will be on Amazon.com.
Very good, very good. So y'all have to go support author Emma Huffman on Amazon.
Thank you.
Yes. So before we wrap up, with all 3 books that we talked about, with your story, where you came from, and who you are today, if you could give one thought of advice or one word of advice to our viewers, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to just believe in yourself, believe that there's somebody out there that's helping you, believe in all your ancestors, known and unknown. You're not alone. You just have to believe.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Well, again, I want to thank you so very much for stopping by Healing Conversations with Coach Vee, sharing with us your books, your sassy picture, your tattoos, your book that's coming up, your message of healing, your message of the power of positive thinking and the subconscious mind, and your beautiful Buddha author picture that I know is your house picture now, but it's morphed, it's grown since then, but it's still such a very beautiful image. One thing I like to do with my guests as just a kind of a token of appreciation for allowing me into your world is to just present them with a small token. This is a wristband.
Okay.
It says Healing Conversations with Coach Vee.
Thank you.
So just to let everyone know that you graced our presence with all your information and your healing today.
Okay.
And we'll look forward to your book coming out Friday the 13th.
Yes.
So thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Ms. B.
So again, this is Healing Conversations with Coach Vee. I am Coach Vee Mitchell Palmer, certified life coach and personal growth expert. Tune in with us next week for another empowering healing conversation.